Hey guys, welcome to the training. So we're gonna get into it here. This is the welcome video. So in this video, we're kind of just gonna be going over the bird's eye overview of the training, what you're gonna be learning, and how you can use this system to actually bring in some more clients for yourself. So let's get into the first slide here. So before I get into this, I'm actually gonna tell you guys I'm not gonna be reading step by step or word for word actually what's on the page. A lot of what I say is just off the cuff. I use the bullet points as references, so if I ever forget anything, I know the main points I want to talk about in the video. So the first thing is with the system, you're gonna learn how to make a passive income providing business owners reviews, and which they desperately need. So I'm sure you've been had an opportunity to go to a restaurant or maybe at a playhouse with your kids, some stuff like this where there's going to be reviews on it, right? So and a lot of people actually check their reviews before they go into the places. So that's where we capitalize off of businesses with bad reviews, and we go in there and we provide them the good reviews. We up their score on Google, providing them more revenue coming in, right? So I'm going to be showing you how I got one of my clients with one contact. So with that client, we actually sent him an email first, and I'm going to show you exactly the guy's emails we use and stuff like that. But we sent him the email first, and then he called us. We had to schedule an appointment, and we'll get into that later in the training. But I'll show you guys how to close your clients on a one call close or just on the first contact. And I'm going to be giving you the exact telephone scripts, the email scripts, everything I use to actually close the clients. Now, with the training, we're going to be going over basically how to find the people who need your reviews, because you don't want to be selling this to someone who already has 5 stars or 4 stars, right? You want to be targeting people who have 3-star reviews, 2-star reviews, 1-star reviews, so you can really come in there and actually help them, and then increase their score and help them bring in more sales. So that's what we want to do with the training. And again, and at the very end, I'm going to include a bonus where we can show you how to outsource everything. Once you have everything going, once you have the clients coming in, then that's where the passive comes in, where we actually show you how to set up someone to manage the clients and then someone to provide the reviews for you, so you don't have to go in there and do them manually. And that way, the business is kind of off hands and just generating passive income for you. That's what I do with my clients right now. So the good news, you already have everything you need to succeed with the system and build a business without having to invest any more money. So let me explain that a little bit. So basically, since we're providing the reviews to businesses with bad reviews, right, and they're going to be on Google, right? So I think I saw a stat the other day that 82% of the United States actually has a Gmail account, something crazy like that, right? So to provide the reviews, we don't actually need you guys don't need to use my outsourcer, or you don't need to use any of that stuff. I'm sure you already have a Gmail account, or you can make one for free, and I'll show you how to do that, right? You can use a Gmail account you already have and post reviews for the businesses yourself. Now you're gonna have to create a few Gmail accounts. You can't just post one review for them, right? Maybe 5 to 10 Gmail accounts that you just use constantly for reviews. Now that's a good way to start for free and get your initial clients coming in. I personally don't do that anymore, just because there's a lot of nuances to it that could get your account banned and stuff like that. So I just tend to use an outsourcer, and I'll give you guys my outsourcer that kind of knows all that stuff. He uses different IPs and all that kind of stuff. But to start off with, when you have your first client or two, it's not a big deal. But once you start growing and growing and growing, you're gonna definitely want to use some sort of outsourcer, and I'll give you the one that I use, and that way you can kind of have everything off hands, and also the outsourcers know what to do, right? They change their IP addresses every Google account and stuff like that. But again, so what I wanted to say was you don't need to invest in more tools or anything as of now. You have everything you need to succeed, and that's all you need is a Gmail account for now to succeed. Now, of course, there is other tools that you could use. I'm going to show you a bunch of them on here that I use myself to make stuff more streamlined and more easier. But again, you don't need to use those tools or anything like that. So how the process works. So the first thing we need to do is actually find the prospect that needs our service, and we need a way to reach out to them. So, and I'm actually going to show you a way that a tool that I use that I find prospects quickly, and I can reach out to them through email very quickly, set up appointments, and then call them back, right? So again, the first thing we need to do is actually find prospects that we're going to be targeting. So now, a lot of people are going to ask me, what kind of prospects would I target ideally, right? So the prospects I usually target are people who are going to be negatively affected by negative reviews. Now, every business out there is actually affected by negative reviews, right? But more so places like restaurants or trampoline places, or laser tag places, stuff like this, right? It's like where people go there and they check reviews out before they need to go, right? Is something that the prospects you could target. Now, I'll give you a list of prospects that I think you should target, or industries that are good. But again, any industry works. There's some work better than others, but places like restaurants, stuff like that, work great, just because if you give a restaurant a better review and you get them from, let's say, 3-star review to a 5-star review, they'll have more customers coming in. They'll be happy. They'll pay you. So it's a good loop there. So you help the client get in more customers for them, and then you provide the reviews, and it's just everyone wins, right? So now the second thing we need to do is we need a way to contact the company. Now our goal, like I kind of showed you guys in the welcome or somewhere in the training, right? There's a video where I show you how to close a prospect on the first call, and actually show you me closing a prospect on the first call, right? Now that's the goal. So what we want to do is we want to contact these business owners with negative reviews or bad reviews, and we want to actually close them on the first call that we go through, just because we don't want to be going through multiple calls with these guys, because there's so many prospects out there that we don't need to waste time on one particular client. And again, I'm going to give you the exact script that I use to close the prospect on that call. You can use it the same way, and I'll give you kind of training on that and how to use the script. That way you have success with the system as well. So afterwards, we're actually going to need a way to provide what we promised them, which is the review, right? So now the way we're going to provide the review is you could do it yourself, right? So you can make the 10 Gmail accounts or buy 10 or 20 Gmail accounts to do it all yourself. Or there's a paid way of doing it as well, where you actually, pay an outsourcer that I'm going to show you, and then he can do everything for you, right? Either way you go. Now, what I would personally do for starting out is start off with the free method, right? Create 10 Gmail accounts or buy them for very cheap, and just cycle through them for all the initial 1 or 2 clients that you get. Now, after 1 or 2 clients, I would actually personally just go into the paid method, because you'll have cash flow and cash flow and revenue coming in. That way, you can invest into the paid way of doing it. Now, the paid way of doing it isn't super expensive. It's actually the better way of doing things, so you can don't have to actually post manual reviews yourself. You can always focus on getting more prospects, because the more prospects you get in, the more sales you're going to make. The more sales you make, you can pay the outsource or whatever you need to do to fulfill the service. Now, as a bonus, I'm actually going to show you how to outsource everything from the management of the outsourcer to the actual outsourcer itself. So that way you don't have to go out there and find outsourcers that might not be reliable. I know when I was getting into this business, that was a major deal for me to find an outsourcer that would actually be worth it. An outsourcer that I could trust. A lot of outsourcers would post reviews, the reviews would get deleted, and it was very hard for me to find my outsourcer. And I'm gonna give that person to you guys. That way, you guys have someone is reliable and can get the reviews done for you. So, why do the business owners need it? So I actually found a quote online the other day that the CEO of Bright Local, which is like an SEO agency, I believe, was quoted saying 72% of buyers trust Google reviews as much as personal recommendations. Now, the best way, obviously if this is ideal, if you can get word of mouth going for your business, but not everyone can actually get that done for them, right? So Google reviews, 72% of buyers actually trust Google reviews as much as personal recommendations. So what does that mean? Bad reviews equals less sales. Good reviews equals more sales. Simple as that. If you have a bad review, no one's going to come into your business. If you have good reviews, more people will come into your business. And the business owners you're talking to understand that. So when you're selling stuff like SEO, PPC, a lot of times there's a little bit of explanation that needs to go into that before the owner buys it. With this, the reason it's the beauty of the system actually is because the owner is going to understand reviews mean more business. It's a very simple marketing strategy. The more good reviews you have, the more business you'll have coming in, right? Especially on places like Google, right? People searching for you all the time. So the owner understands it. It's easy for them to understand. So that's why the likelihood of them buying the service goes up, as opposed to when I sell stuff like SEO and PPC. And don't get me wrong, I still sell that stuff, and it's still great. But this is the way I initially started my business and actually grew my business before I started upselling stuff like that, which is stuff we can get into, and you guys can upsell that stuff to these people once you have them coming in. But this is a great foot in the door method that can make you a bunch of passive income, and you can stick with your business and keep it on Google reviews. You can provide Google reviews to businesses, and if you choose to upsell them other stuff, that's your prerogative, and I can help you guys with that. But this is a great way to just grow a business on its own. So again, 72% of buyers trust Google reviews. You want to get them as many as you can, and that'll increase the business's sales, the businesses that you're helping, and it'll be advantageous to both of you. Okay, so that's the end of this. I just want to make sure that was the last slide. So that's the end of the welcome video. The next video is gonna be on prospecting. I'm gonna show you guys how to actually find prospects, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the video.